She's just being overdramatic again. You know how Erin is. That's what I hear when I step through the back gate, the one that creaks like a secret every time it swings shut behind you. My name is Erin Calloway. I'm 38 years old, and today, I crashed my own niece's birthday party. Technically, I wasn't invited. Not explicitly. Not via group text or cute Pinterest card in the mail. Just a voicemail from my mom saying, "It's at 3 hours, if you're in town." A statement, not an invitation. You'd think after everything I've done for this country, 2 covert deployments, a domestic intelligence commendation, 3 surgeries that never made it to any official medical chart, I'd have earned more than a shrug and a time slot. But to my family, I'm just the sister who dropped out of grad school and travels too much to settle down. It's funny. They don't know that my travel last year was a border intercept op that kept 17 missing teens from being smuggled across a state line. But sure, I'm overdramatic. The backyard is filled with pink streamers and rented tables and plastic princess crowns. Kids scream over a bubble machine while the adults mingle near the grill like a perfectly cropped Instagram story. I'm wearing a blazer over tactical gear. I told HQ I needed 12 hours of personal time. I lied and said it was a dentist appointment. This is the closest thing I've had to a family moment in over 4 years. I spot my sister Heather near the lemonade table. Her laugh is sharp and bright, and she's wearing the dress I bought her 3 birthdays ago, back when I still thought gifts could buy connection. Her eyes land on me. They blink once. No hug. No, I didn't think you'd come. Just a blink and a quick scan to make sure I'm not holding anything that might ruin the party vibe. I raise a hand awkwardly. She turns back to her friend. I'm not sure why I came. Maybe some part of me hoped this time would be different. That I'd finally earn a place in this glossy photo album of family normalcy. A woman I don't recognize, probably one of Heather's friends from work, sidles up next to me. "Are you Erin?" she asks, chewing a baby carrot. I nod. "Oh, Heather said you might show up? She said you're, in between things?" I let the smile stretch across my face. Something like that. No one asks what I do. They never do. They've all settled on their version of me. The weird one. The wanderer. The woman who probably takes too many self-help classes. I used to fight it. Now I let them think what they need to. The fewer questions, the safer everyone stays. But that doesn't mean it doesn't sting. My mom sees me next and walks over with a forced smile. "I wasn't sure you'd make it," she says. "You told me 3 hours," I answer. "Well, you're always so busy." She looks over her shoulder like she's afraid I brought something explosive with me. If only she knew. "How's everything?" she asks vaguely. "Stable," I say. "For now." She frowns like I've spoken in code. Maybe I have. I take a seat near the back, behind the fold-out table of gift bags. A kid bumps into me and says, "Sorry," without looking up. The sun is too warm on my jacket. My back itches. That's when I hear it. Near the cake table. Heather's voice. "She's just being overdramatic again. You know how Erin is." They laugh. Her friend says, "Yeah, the way she always disappears. Like she's starring in a spy movie or something." Another voice. "I heard she got fired from that nonprofit." She wasn't fired, she just left. No one really knows. She's always been a little intense, right? Always. The words bounce like darts against my ribs. They don't know I just spent 3 days in a debrief room outlining threat profiles on 3 domestic cells tied to a New Mexico intercept. They don't know my clearance level outpaces half the men they vote for. And they never will. Because to tell them would be to destroy what little peace they have. And I've always believed peace is something you protect, even if it's not your own. I check my watch. 15:04. I have 6 hours before I'm supposed to report back to Charlotte. I figure I'll stay for cake. Maybe give Ava her gift, a leather-bound journal with a coded message only she'll understand, then slip out like a rumor. But then my encrypted band buzzes. Twice. Then a pause. Then one long vibration. That's not a social ping. That's not an update from the Bureau's wellness portal. That's code. Level 3 alert. Local threat. My pulse drops into my stomach. I touch the side of the band and scan the incoming location. It's within 10 miles. An event center. Downtown theater. 300 plus expected attendees. Some sort of veterans fundraiser. Intel just flagged a high probability threat signature on chatter networks. They need eyes. I'm the only one within perimeter. Of course I am. I look at my family. My sister throwing her head back in laughter. My mom carefully slicing cake. My dad probably in the living room watching sports. They don't know. They've never known. I stand, walk back toward the driveway. I don't say goodbye. But behind me, just as I'm climbing into the car, I hear Heather's voice again. She just leaves. No explanation. That's what she does. And she's right. I do leave. But today, I'm not walking away. Today, I'm heading straight into it. The tires grind softly against the gravel as I ease the car out of my sister's driveway. The air inside the SUV feels too still, too clean, like it doesn't know I've just been gutted open by laughter that wasn't meant to hurt, but did anyway. I flick on the vent. Cold air spills out like breath I didn't know I was holding. My phone remains locked in the center console. Personal communications off, no distractions. But the band on my wrist is warm now, pulsing faintly. It's not just any location I'm being pinged to. It's the Paramount Theater, downtown Asheville. An old refurbished opera house with marble stairs, heavy velvet curtains, and a chandelier that weighs more than some sedans. I know the building. I've run evacuation drills there during ghost threat exercises. Capacity, 426. Tonight's expected attendance, 378. I scan the threat packet pushed through to my band. Anonymous chatter. Keywords flagged. Curtain call, blast radius, legacy wiped. Too many coincidences. Too many silences. A threat team from DC is already spinning up, but they're at least 4 hours out. That makes me the closest asset. Again. And the most expendable. Always. I reach under the passenger seat and pull out the black duffel bag I keep zipped and disguised as a yoga kit. Inside, Kevlar layer vest, mini transceiver, flash goggles, compact 9mm, no badge, no agency logo. If I'm caught or downed, I don't exist. It's not heroism, it's protocol. I peel off the blazer, roll up the sleeves on my field top, and pull my hair into a low knot. My face in the mirror looks harder than I feel. I don't need courage. I need clarity. I've trained myself to find it in seconds. By the time I reach the edge of downtown, traffic's thickened. I slide into a municipal parking spot half a block from the theater, checking sightlines from every corner. Cameras on the rooftop. Normal. Maintenance truck at the side loading dock. Plausible. Too clean. Too neat. Always a sign. I approach the back service entrance with my credentials tucked in my coat, but the door's locked. No access. I circle to the front lobby where the crowd is gathering, mostly retired military, their families, a few local politicians. There's a security checkpoint staffed by 2 officers I don't recognize. Local PD, probably pulled for light duty. I present my out-of-date liaison badge. This was supposed to be cleared, I say, voice steady. Field liaison, domestic intel. The younger officer looks confused. The older one frowns. We haven't been notified of any agency liaisons, he says. This isn't a federal event. I know. But the threat is. They exchange a look. The kind that says another paranoid Fed trying to muscle her way in. I don't have time for protocol. Listen to me. I lower my voice. If I'm wrong, I'll apologize. If I'm right, This building won't be standing in an hour. You want to bet on that with your pensions? The older cop looks rattled. He waves me through reluctantly. You've got 5 minutes. Don't make a scene. That part makes me smile. They always think I make scenes. They never understand. I'm the one who silences them. Inside, the lighting is dimmed and the air smells of old wood and polished brass. Waitstaff glide through with wine and hors d'oeuvres. A string quartet plays something too delicate for what I feel brewing under my skin. I move toward the service stairs, avoiding eye contact. My earpiece is connected to nothing now. HQ line is dark. But I'm used to that. It's the quiet before impact that always gives the most away. The soft hum behind the stage, the vibration under the floorboards. I walk the perimeter of the backstage hall, tracing the seams of the wall with my gloved fingers. I've learned to listen to buildings like they breathe. I catch it. Faint. An electronic tick. Not loud enough to be HVAC. Not consistent enough to be a fuse box. Something foreign. I round the corner, and I see him. A man in a janitor's uniform crouched beside a stage box. He looks too clean. The mop bucket is empty. His hand moves with precision. Small device, wires, a flat receiver panel. He hasn't seen me yet. I don't speak. I don't shout. I reach into my jacket and tap the record button on the band. Then I step forward. No sudden moves. He freezes. His head turns slowly. Eyes calm. Unreadable. I thought you wouldn't show up this fast, he says. My blood goes cold. You knew I was coming? Not you, he says. But someone. My heart hammers. That means he wasn't sent to detonate. He was sent to draw out. Me. I scan the floor. One device. No second man in sight. Who sent you? His mouth twitches. Doesn't matter now. He kicks the panel. A soft beep. I lunge forward. He fights back. Not hard. Enough to stall me. Enough to delay. He's not trying to win. He's trying to buy time. I shove him back, disconnect the power lead, and see the indicator light blink red. 30 seconds. I grab my radio. No signal. Dead channel. No one's coming. I rip the cord from the base and brace for the charge. But instead, nothing. The panel fizzles. A pop. Smoke. Diversion. It wasn't the bomb. It was the decoy. The real one is still inside, and I'm officially the only one who knows. I run. My boots hit the marble like thunder. The smoke curls behind me from the decoy device, setting off the fire alarm in a slow wail that pulses through the theater in waves. It isn't loud enough yet. The system's old. Delayed. I shove past curtains and through the orchestra pit doors. The crowd in the main hall hasn't moved. They're still sipping wine and nodding politely to the sound of distant violins, as if the air hasn't already shifted. As if death isn't already leaking through the ventilation. I scan the exits. 4 of them. 2 guarded by clueless ushers. 1 half blocked by folding chairs. The 4th near the balcony. Locked. I don't have time to explain. I need a mic. I bolt backstage again, nearly colliding with a teenage tech assistant wearing headphones and glitter eyeliner. I snatch the mic from the soundboard, tap it twice. It clicks on. Attention, everyone. My voice echoes across the hall, sharp and out of place. I hear laughter at first. Someone claps, thinking it's part of the show. You need to evacuate, now. This is not a drill. Do not run. Use the marked exits calmly and immediately. I don't say bomb. I don't say threat. I don't say DHS or FBI. Fear makes people freeze. Clarity moves them. Some people start rising. Others stare. I jump down into the orchestra pit and climb onto the stage. The violinists stop mid-measure, confused. The event coordinator hurries over, mouth open to object. I flash my band, still glowing faint red. Move them now, I say. You've got less than 3 minutes. That does it. Something in my tone breaks the illusion. I start hurting people myself, waving them to the side exits, past the curtains, down the stairwells, and then the second pulse. My wristband vibrates again. A different pattern. One I haven't seen in years. Fallback ping, triple code, imminent strike. I freeze. The device isn't in the theater, it's beneath it, the service tunnels. I sprint toward the utility corridor door, throw it open. A blast of musty concrete air hits me in the face. No lights. Just a single overhead flickering bulb and the long whisper of cables and water pipes. I run. The floor dips. I hit the main junction and stop. There it is. A dull green box nestled behind a service panel, blinking like it's bored of waiting. The readout, T213. 2 minutes, 13 seconds. I tear open the latch. Inside, chem cell, trip circuit, manual override pad, biometric lock, advanced. Not amateur work. I steady my breath and pull out my backup slate. I run a manual decrypt. The screen flashes. Access denied. Of course it is. It's voice locked. Not to me. I try again. Access denied. The timer ticks. 157, 156, 155. There's no wire to cut, no red or green magic snip like the movies. This is designed to erase, not to threaten. I drop to my knees. My band is still recording. I lean close. This is Callaway. Aaron. Live feed override, confirming active device under the Paramount Theater. Target signature confirms high-density chemical dispersal. Estimated kill range, 5 blocks. Civilian count 300 plus. Current countdown, 1 minute, 32 seconds. I let the audio capture everything, every breath, every key I try, every tremor in my voice I'm not proud of. I don't know if anyone will hear it, but I need it to exist. I am attempting manual override using residual echo clearance. Refer to Protocol Ghost 13. I enter the backup code from a mission I wasn't officially part of. The slate hesitates. Matching partial print? Override? I tap, yes. The panel hums. Light flickers. Recalibrating. New timer T-10 45 seconds. Not much, but enough. I slam the casing shut and wedge the panel off its bracket, dragging the whole unit from its mount and running, dragging the box like it's a broken suitcase. I make it halfway back up the tunnel when I spot the vent chute. A dump shaft. Sealed. Labeled for external waste removal. I punch through the latch, shove the box inside, and slam the panel shut just as the timer hits. Tia-ro, ow, 7. Tia-ro, 6. Tia-ro, ow, 5. I jump backward, press against the wall. Boom, but not fire, not shrapnel, just pressure. A muffled, lung-crushing thud that pushes dust from the walls and rattles the pipes. Then, silence. My ears ring, my knees give, but the floor is still intact. The building stands. No blood, no glass. I saved them. They'll never know. I pass out in the stairwell. I think I smile before I hit the floor. I wake to the scent of antiseptic and the muffled beep of a heart monitor. The ceiling above me is white and dimpled, like hospital ceilings always are, like they're trying to hide their own guilt. My mouth is dry. My ribs feel like someone parked a truck on them. A nurse walks past the door but doesn't see me stir. That's good. I wait. I breathe. I scan the room without moving my head. No flowers, no balloons, no family. Of course not. They don't know I'm here, because the name on the file isn't Aaron. It's Elise Moreau, one of my last aliases. Valid insurance, minimal red flags. The Bureau does this for us, when they want the world to believe we weren't there. I close my eyes again and try to piece together what I missed. The vent dump, the explosion, the crowd. Did they evacuate in time? The door clicks. A man walks in, dressed like a hospital administrator, but the way he holds his shoulders tells me otherwise. He doesn't speak until he's pulled the curtain. "Director Calloway," he says softly, "you're lucky to be alive." I open one eye. He's bureau. The good kind. The kind that still says thank you after you stop a catastrophe. "Casualties?" I croak. "None," he says. "Stage floor cracked from pressure. No structural damage. The building's intact. Crowd was halfway out when it hit. No panic. You bought them time." I nod once. That's all I need to hear. He pulls a chair close and leans in. "You were recorded," he says. "Audio band. Whole thing." I blink. He nods. "We didn't expect it, but the audio feed was pinged to a dormant channel. We thought it was corrupted. Turns out it auto-sent to the field archive." The pulse in my wrist jumps. "So they heard it?" I ask. He smirks. "They played it. At the morning brief. Half the floor froze. You saved hundreds of lives, Calloway, and you did it alone." I want to laugh. I don't. My chest hurts too much. "Did they declassify it?" I ask. "Not yet," he replies. "But there's a congressional hearing coming. And you're on the list. Your name. Your voice. It's about to be real." I don't answer. I don't know how I feel. I didn't do it to be remembered. But I didn't do it to be erased either. He stands. "Someone's asking about you. Persistent. Civilian. Woman. Early 40s. Said she's your sister." My stomach flips. "Heather?" He nods. "She didn't get far. You're not listed on any public record, but she said she recognized your boots." I can't help it. I laugh, even though it sends pain radiating down my side. Those boots. Always the same kind. Always slightly worn at the toe. "Let her in," I say. He hesitates. "You sure?" I nod. "If she's here, I want to know why." He leaves. A moment later, the door opens again, and she's standing there. Heather. She looks like she's seen a ghost. Or maybe just the version of me she refused to believe was real. Her eyes scan the wires, the monitors, the stitched gash at my temple. "Jesus, Aaron," she whispers. "What the hell happened?" I don't answer right away. She steps closer, fidgeting with her hands like she doesn't know what to do with them. "They said someone evacuated the Paramount Theater," she says. "Said the stage was sabotaged. And a woman in black dragged an explosive device through a service tunnel." I stay still. "They said the woman disappeared before anyone could thank her. But then a voice recording got played. Over the radio. It leaked." My throat tightens. "They played it on the news. Just the audio. I didn't recognize it at first. But then you said your name. Aaron Calloway." She sits beside me finally. Her breath is shaky. "I thought you were being overdramatic," she says. I said that. I said it out loud. Behind the cake table. I nod once. "I know." She winces. "You were never the drama, were you?" she asks. "You were the silence between it. You were the one holding the line while the rest of us mocked you for not staying home." I don't know what to say. "I was wrong," she whispers. God, I was so wrong. Tears fill her eyes. Real ones. The kind that aren't for show. "I thought you ran away," she says. "But you were running toward the danger the whole time." I close my eyes. "I never wanted recognition," I say. "But I didn't want to be erased either." Heather reaches for my hand. And for the first time since I joined the bureau, I let someone hold it. No clearance. No classified lingo. Just warmth. "I don't need the world to see," I say, voice breaking. "I just needed someone to believe it was real." "I do," she says. "I do now." And for the first time in years, I believe her. I'm discharged 2 days later. No fanfare, no wheelchair exit photo, just a stack of pain meds, a stitched ribcage, and a silent ride from a bureau car with tinted windows and a driver who never once looks back at me through the mirror. I don't go home. I don't really have one. Instead, I check into a motel off the I-40 exit, where the carpet smells like old popcorn and the walls are painted the same shade of beige as government folders. My bag is already there, delivered by a field agent. Inside, backup ID, clean clothes, and a burner phone glowing with a single unread message. Private audio request received. Contact DOJ committee. They want the recording. The one from my wristband. I sit on the edge of the bed, holding the phone like it's heavier than the steel in my shoulder. They don't want me. They want proof. A voice. A timestamp. The ghost version of me. Not the broken rib. Not the shaking hands. Not the woman who vomited in the motel bathroom that morning from adrenaline backlash. Just the voice that said, estimated kill range, 5 blocks, civilian count 300 plus. I send it. 30 seconds later, the screen flashes again. Acknowledged. File received. Director Lang response pending. Of course. Lang. He's the one who's been shadowing my assignments for years. Always 5 steps behind. Always reshaping what happened into something palatable for press briefings. He likes narratives that end neatly. Mine never do. He'll try to bury it. Just like he buried the Miami Pier op in 2019. And the hospital lockdown in Toledo. And the convoy ambush in Albuquerque that only made it to internal files because I sent a blood-soaked patch from my own flak jacket as evidence. I've always been inconvenient. Too decisive. Too unshakable. But now the public knows my name. Not all of it. Not the scope. Not Vanguard. But enough. A knock hits my motel door. 3 sharp taps. Then silence. Protocol. I open the door slowly. Talia Cross. She's in plain clothes now. Jeans, windbreaker, ponytail like it's just another morning and not the first time we've seen each other since the 2018 Seattle containment breach. She raises a paper bag in greeting. I brought donuts. I blink at her. You hate donuts? She shrugs. It felt like a moment. I let her in. She sits in the corner chair, pulls out a glazed one and watches me with those eyes that have seen too much and still manage to look unbroken. You really did it, huh? She says. Stop the whole thing. I lean against the dresser. They'll say it was a team effort. No team was there, she says. Just you and a bunch of civilians drinking wine under a chandelier. We sit in silence for a few minutes. Then she pulls something else from her pocket. A flash drive. Black. Unmarked. This, she says quietly, is the unedited field footage, not just the audio. Body cam overlay, internal comm logs, security feeds from the loading dock. I stare at it. You're giving it to me? No, she says. I'm returning it to you. It's yours. Lang was prepping to scrub it. Someone flagged the file for deletion and I pulled it before he got the final clearance. I reach for it, hold it like it's a live coal. This is what the committee will need, I say. She shakes her head. It's what you need. They already got the sanitized version. This one has the part where you passed out in the stairwell and muttered your mom's name. I flush. I didn't. You did, she grins. It was kind of beautiful. I laugh, then wince. My ribs protest. You going to show up at the hearing? She asks. I nod slowly. They need to see me. Hear it from me. She stands to leave, then pauses. By the way, she says, you've got a fan. Who? That teenager from the sound booth. Glitter eyeliner, big boots. She told the press she saw you evacuate everyone while bleeding from the side. Called you a tactical angel. I shake my head, smirking. God, that's awful. Cross grins. You always hated being seen. Too bad. You're in the light now. She leaves. I sit alone with the flash drive, and I play it. Not all of it. Just the 37 seconds after I cut the wire. The moment where the device hissed, then fizzled, and I whispered to no one in particular. Tell them I didn't walk away. Tell them I stayed. My own voice shakes. Not from fear. from relief. Because for the first time, the tape doesn't lie. The hearing room is colder than I imagined. Capitol Hill has that way of draining warmth from the air, like the walls are built to keep human softness out. Everything smells like upholstery and power. They don't list me by name on the agenda. Just Witness 7. Just another checkmark in a list of narratives they'd rather steer than hear. But everyone knows. When I walk in, hair pinned back, jacket pressed, black folder in hand, the whispers start. A low hum, like someone cracked the lid on a secret too early. The committee sits in a crescent row, all gravitas and self-importance. At the center, Director Victor Lang. He's wearing his usual suit, clean, tight smile, hands folded neatly on the desk like he's already composed the closing statement. He looks right at me, nods. That same nod he gave me after I disobeyed a stand-down order during Operation Emberfall. The kind that says, "You just made this harder for all of us." I sit. A tech assistant fits me with a mic, then steps away like I'm radioactive. Grayson, the chair of the committee, clears his throat. "Miss Calloway." "Director," I correct gently. A pause. "Director Calloway," he resumes. "Do you acknowledge the events detailed in this preliminary report? Specifically, that you acted alone, without direct command oversight, in a civilian environment, during a flagged national threat scenario?" "I do." And that during the evacuation of the Paramount Theater, you employed unauthorized equipment and methods not aligned with standard domestic threat response protocol?" "I did." He leans back, almost smug. "And do you deny the accusation that your decision endangered lives?" I open the folder. Pull out the flash drive Cross gave me, slide it forward. "No, Senator," I say. "I'm going to let the footage speak for itself." There's a pause. The kind that prickles across the skin of everyone in the room. A tech assistant grabs the drive, plugs it in. The screen on the far wall lights up. First, the timestamp. T3:41 p.m. Then, the camera feed from my band, jostling through a dark corridor, blinking sensors, my voice. "Crowd needs to move now. Secondary device suspected understage. This isn't a drill." I glance around. The room has gone quiet. All those suits who walked in expecting theatrics are leaning in now, watching like they forgot they had doubts. On screen you can hear me breathing. Then the moment. I pry open the vent, slide the box in, the timer blinking Quo 7. 006. The gasps are soft, but audible. Lang's jaw ticks. I let it play for another minute, just long enough to hear myself whisper from the stairwell floor, "Tell them I didn't walk away. Tell them I stayed." The screen cuts to black. Dead silence. Grayson clears his throat again, but it's thinner now. "Why didn't you call for backup, Director Calloway?" "I did," I say, "but the channel was dead. Scrambled." "You're saying the Bureau's systems failed?" "No," I say evenly. "I'm saying someone made sure they did." And then I do it. I turn toward Lang, hold his gaze. In 2 prior missions, Seattle and Miami, Director Lang altered the strike feed paths, routing intel through auxiliary channels under the guise of redundancy. Both times, timing errors nearly cost lives. This time, there was no team. Just me. And that delay almost killed 378 civilians. Lang opens his mouth, but a panelist cuts in. Dr. Helena Grant, retired field analyst, silver hair in a tight knot. "Are you suggesting Director Lang knowingly interfered with a domestic threat response operation?" I'm saying it wasn't the first time his interference aligned with suppression of female-led ops. The words hit the room like a dropped glass. There it is. The one thing no one says out loud. That some threats wear suits, and some silences are strategic. Grayson tries to recover. "We'll have to review these allegations." And just when the moment could fracture, Cassie walks in. She's not on the list. She's wearing a navy dress and holding a laptop. The same one I saw glowing beside her tea and incense 3 nights ago. She moves to the mic without being stopped. Her voice is steady. I'm Cassie Calloway, civilian. I was sent an email labeled Whistleblower Archive from an address masked under a federal proxy. I accessed it believing it was part of a podcast leak meant to elevate female intelligence operatives. Instead, it was a Trojan gateway for extracting internal documents, classified ones, linked to Operation Vanguard and Director Aaron. Lang stiffens. Grayson narrows his eyes. And how do you know the source of the message? She clicks her keyboard. The screen changes. Digital breadcrumbs, IP traces, source code, and at the bottom, Victor.Langyagov.national clearance. Cassie looks up. He used my curiosity to bait her. He knew she'd trace it. He wanted this. Lang bolts to his feet. This is an ambush. That data is forged. But it's too late. The staffers are already moving. Lawyers flipping notes. One senator leans toward a mic and says clearly, requesting immediate internal audit. The room explodes into side chatter. And for the first time, no one looks at me like I'm overreacting. No one tells me to calm down or to stop making things complicated. They're listening. And that's all I ever wanted. Not a statue, not a medal. Just 1 full minute of undiluted truth without someone interrupting. As they escort Lang out, I look at Cassie. She gives me the smallest nod. Not, I'm sorry. Not, you were right. Just, I see you now, and it's enough. 2 weeks later, I stand in my sister's kitchen and no one calls me overdramatic. The walls are warm, painted that soft cream yellow she always loved, and the house smells like cinnamon and butter and something freshly baked. Ava's laughter echoes from the living room, high-pitched and alive, like nothing in the world could be wrong when she's around. There's no formal invitation, no apologetic text. Just a seat at the dinner table, already set. One of the good plates, the kind reserved for holidays, with my name card on it. Aaron, not Lulu, not the ghost, just me. My mother moves around the kitchen, checking the roast. My dad stands by the window, wine glass in hand, unusually quiet. Even Gavin's here, chewing on a toothpick like he doesn't want to be, but didn't want to be the only one missing. I lean against the doorframe, unsure where I belong in this new version of our family. Then Cassie appears, setting a bowl of roasted vegetables in the center of the table. You're early, she says, smiling. That's a first. I raise an eyebrow. Still biting, huh? She shrugs. You'd worry if I didn't. She walks over, and before I can brace for anything awkward, she wraps her arms around me, tight, real. I'm proud of you, she whispers. I should have said it years ago. I swallow hard. It's okay, I say. I wasn't exactly easy to understand. She pulls back and looks me dead in the eye. No, she says. You weren't. But you were never wrong. We sit for dinner. No prayers, no speeches. Just food passed hand to hand, stories overlapping, forks clinking. I don't talk much at first. I listen. Watch. It's not like nothing happened. It's just that now, they know. They see. Not just the headlines. DOJ acknowledges Paramount incident. Or the quiet leak of the audio clip that played on 3 national podcasts. Not just the whispers in DC hallways that say, she was the one who stopped it. But me, Erin, the woman who always left too early, the one they never trusted to stay, the one who got called too much for showing emotion and not enough for hiding it. Now, I'm just part of the story. After dessert, Gavin gets up to help clear the table. That alone feels like a seismic shift. He pauses beside me, holding 2 empty plates. You were always the tough one, he says. We just didn't get it. I nod. You weren't supposed to. He hesitates. I'm sorry for calling you dramatic. I glance up. I'm not, I reply. He blinks. What? I am dramatic, I say, a smirk tugging at my lips. I just prefer to save it for when I'm dragging a bomb into a crawl space. He laughs, short and a little guilty. Then my dad steps over. He doesn't say anything, just places a small box in front of me, wrapped in plain brown paper. No bow. Inside, there's a photo. Me, on stage. The still frame taken by some bystander as the smoke curled up behind me. My hands raised, directing the crowd, eyes locked ahead. There's no badge on my chest, no glory pose. Just motion, purpose. The caption at the bottom is handwritten. She stayed. I look up at him, but he's already turning away, sipping his wine. I trace the photo with my thumb. No one needed to post it. No one sent it to the press. They just framed it. For us. Later that night, I walk out to the porch. The autumn air bites a little. Dry leaves skitter across the steps like they're in a hurry to go nowhere. Cassie joins me, wrapping a shawl over her shoulders. I'm thinking about pitching a new podcast series, she says casually. Oh? Yeah. Real stories, not headlines, things people overlook. Women who made choices that cost them things they can't explain. I glance at her. She smiles. I want to start with you. I shake my head. My story's already out. Not the one that matters, she says. Not the one about the cost. I think for a moment. I'll think about it, I say. She nods. That's all I ask. We sit in silence, and that's when the porch light flickers. Not from faulty wiring, from a power grid pulse. Faint, but distinct. I've seen it before. It's a ping. A signal. Another one's coming. I don't panic. I don't sigh. I just reach into my coat pocket, where I've kept the black flash drive Cross gave me. I press it once between my fingers. Just a reminder that they can try to erase you, rewrite you, mock you, misunderstand you. But if you stay, long enough, loud enough, bravely enough, the truth stays too. It doesn't need applause. It just needs you. Now, if my story stayed with you, if it made you feel seen, heard, understood, drop a comment. Let me know where you're listening from, because sometimes being seen starts with being believed. Thank you for staying, and I'll see you next time.